When working with the classes in the .NET framework, you will have noticed that some methods are able to accept more than one set of arguments. These are known as overloads. In this lesson, you'll create your own overloaded method that is capable of accepting different sets of arguments and running different code accordingly. To begin, open the Textland project from your sample files folder. It's important that you open the project using the textland.sln file and not the textland.csproj file, as you will need the entire solution for this lesson. Now open encryptionfunctions.cs from the encryption library project within the Textland solution. At the moment, the encrypt string method requires 3 arguments: a string to encrypt, an encryption key, and an initialization vector. You're going to add an overload to enable the encrypt string method to work without an encryption key or initialization vector. To do this, first copy the entire encrypt string method. And paste a copy of the encrypt string method just below the existing encrypt string method. Now remove the encryption key and initialization vector arguments from the new copy of the encrypt string method. You've just created an overload for the encrypt string method. You did this by simply creating another method with the same name, but only one argument. Note that you cannot create an overload that has exactly the same arguments as the method you're overloading, as there would be no way for C# to tell which overload the programmer was trying to call. If you encounter this problem, simply create an entirely new method rather than overloading an existing one. You'll notice that there are some errors in your new overload. You're going to fix those now. Remove the lines that begin aesalgorithm.key and aesalgorithm.iv and replace them with aesalgorithm.key equals encoding.utf8.getBytes learn ASP.NET, C#, and Visual Studio, ! aesalgorithm.iv equals new byte 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This code is needed to tell the AES algorithm object which encryption key and initialization vector to use. Next, you're going to use your new overloaded method. Open the code behind file of encryption.aspx and remove the line that begins string encrypted string. In its place, type the following: string encrypted string equals encryption library dot encryption functions dot encrypt string begin brackets. The IntelliSense menu appears, showing the details of the encrypt string method. Notice the black arrows on the left of the IntelliSense menu. This indicates the presence of overloads. Click the up or down arrows to cycle through your overloads. As you can see, the encrypt string method is now capable of working with either a single string or with a string, encryption key, and initialization vector. Finish the line of code now with textbox_encryption.text. Now test your code by viewing encryption.aspx in your web browser. When the page loads, click Encrypt, and the text is encrypted successfully using your method's new overload. Note that you could have accomplished the same thing as you did in this lesson by simply creating a brand new method. It's down to your own judgment whether you prefer to use overloads or new methods. A good rule of thumb is to choose whichever approach will require less code. Close your web browser now, and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 4.6, Overload a Method.